Welcome back to another episode of Video Game Numbers. Today we'll be covering another Eastern playoff matchup. It will be the Bucks against the Heat, the first seed and the 8th seed. So by the time we upload this video, game 1 has already been played.
Yep.
So in the regular season, they split their matchups 2 and 2. What are your thoughts on this matchup, first of all?
Thoughts? Okay, well, considering the Heat won game 1 already, I'm going to go and say Bucks in 5.
Okay, so that's your prediction.
That's my prediction, Bucks in 5.
I mean, I think Heat can actually squeeze another game. I'm going to say Bucks in 6.
That's what I thought as well.
Bucks in 6, okay.
Bucks in 6. I think with the way they played in game 1, I reckon they can probably squeeze another one at home. I don't know about a back-to-back still away games.
Yeah.
But that's just me. What about you guys?
So
That's fair.
I think
see that happening.
the big news off the back of game 1 obviously is the 2 injuries. The first one being Tyler Hero in Miami. He broke his hand and is expected to be out 6 to 8 weeks, they're saying. So, I mean, he's done for the first round, clearly.
Yeah, he might make it back to the final for the
finals.
finals.
Conference finals, the finals probably. Or he's just going to be back in the training camp off season. And then the second one is Giannis with a back contusion. I think they've got him listed as day-to-day. Yeah. So his game time decision for game 2, but I would expect him to play.
Yeah. When is the next game?
So the next game is not tomorrow, but the day after.
Yeah.
That doesn't give you guys much of an indication.
Yeah, by the time you watch this, the game might have already been played, or it might be on that day. So,
So it's basically 2 days from
give
the day of this recording. Yeah.
So we can deep dive more into the matchups between these two teams. Do you want to go through their most used lineups, and then we'll go from there?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, the way I see it is like, firstly, the Bucks starting 5 is like amazing when they play together, right? Yeah. Lopez, Giannis, Middleton, Grayson Allen, and Drew Holiday. I think when those guys have all played together, they've got a 12.1 net rating in 16 games played, which is really good. It's really good, all things considered. It's not the best, not like the Golden State Warriors, but like that's still very solid, especially when you consider the fact that Middleton was kind of working his way in and out of the lineup the entire season. His whole season's been riddled with injuries. He's only just really found his rhythm as of late. And in game 1, he showed up, right?
Yeah.
So that net rating is only really going to get better. Whereas the Heat, like you mentioned, Tyler Hero's gone. So, and like Kyle Lowry lost his starting spot as well. So you're looking at
He's actually a bit better on the bench though. Coming off the bench, he's actually a bit
in the
more
playing game, he showed up, But like, now you look at this Heat team, you're like, who starts at that 2 position? Personally, I'll probably start Victor Oladipo, even though he didn't even play in game 1.
Given minutes.
Yeah, but like, your alternatives are you either start, Kyle Lowry, who's also 6 foot. You've got 2 6-footers in the backcourt. Duncan Robinson, who you don't know what you're going to get out of him.
they did put him on after he got hurt though. He didn't play. He played 6 minutes of basically useless.
I think Oladipo needs to get minutes. Yeah. So like, I mean, the reason why I said Bucks in 5 is like, I mean, you lost Tyler Hero as your second best, natural scorer, if you want to put it that way, right? And now there's even more of a burden on Butler and Bam, or Kyle Lowry. I don't know. He has to come in and give a spark like he did against the Hawks. And so I don't know. You look at it that way. I just don't see them winning, especially with the size. Like the limits is just Bam. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Like. Who's their backup center? I don't even know who
They got another Robinson. Some other Robinson.
Orlando Robinson.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, but
I was going to say Glenn.
I don't know. I just don't see, Giannis is 6'11". Bam is already undersized.
Yeah.
He's 6'9", 6'10".
Yeah. And you got 7-footer in Brook Lopez.
Exactly. I do not see that ending well for the Heat. Like, it's a miracle they haven't won a game. I'm happy they won a game because, the longer they stretch out the series, the more fatigued the Bucks are for the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. Assuming both teams make it that far. And so, that's my logic behind it. I just don't see any way that the Heat can come back with Hero being out. Like, if Hero was healthy, I'll give him a game. Sure, but...
Here's the interesting thing with the Bucks' most used lineups. What I can see is when you got the full healthy starting five for the Bucks, they've played 16 games together, but their defensive rating is 122. That is by far the worst out of any other top 5 lineups they've used this season. So that's the interesting point. They're still plus 12, so they're still, smashing teams. But obviously in game 1, they gave up 130 points to the Heat. And that speaks to that statistic.
And I think you can also, I don't have the exact defensive ratings in front of me, but 122.4 defensive rating, which is what that lineup has over the course of a full season. I'm pretty sure that's going to be near the bottom. It'll be around 28 to 30 for the entire season. Yeah. So it's shockingly bad.
It's the fact that those 5 guys haven't had much run together. You've had Giannis missing games here and there. Obviously, Middleton was ramping up. He missed a big chunk after his comeback as well. So it's been a very inconsistent season in terms of injuries. Obviously, they're still bloody number 1.
Yeah.
And you can't argue really against that.
You got to trust what they have, man. They got 3 elite defenders. Chris Middleton is still a very good defender. Yeah. Grayson Allen is a dirty player. I mean, but defensively,
he's cleaned himself up a little bit.
It's a matter of time, man. Just wait. But I personally give them the benefit of the doubt, just because these guys have won a championship together, right? So
So obviously we know Heroes are going to be out.
20.8 net rating.
Yes, that is the interesting thing. So Miami Heat with Hero out, they've run a 5-man lineup of Lowry, Butler, Adebayo, Caleb Martin, and Max Strus. They've got a net rating of plus 20.8.
That's insane, man.
How are they scoring more points with Tyler Hero out of the lineup? I'm not really getting that.
Tyler Hero's a bit of a shot chucker, though. You know what I mean? It just might so happen, in these games where this lineup's playing well, Tyler Hero's dragging down him rating by a shit ton. But he's one of those guys, if he's on fire, he's on fire. His cold is terrible, man. There's no in between.
And I feel correct me if I'm wrong, when he holds the ball, he holds it quite a bit.
He's basically their bailout player. When a player has gone to shits and they can't really get a proper shot up, they usually give Hero the ball, does some weird...
I can just imagine doing a step back.
Yeah, it's just chuck it up. Fade away, step back 3 type of thing.
Yeah.
So, they put him in those positions. But, I mean, the numbers basically say they have the best lineup with Hero on the bench. Because the top 4 other lineups have Hero in there.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting. I mean, there's going to be adjustments, but
I mean, you don't it's probably not sustainable for a proper 7-game series. Caleb, no disrespect, but Lowry at this age, Caleb Martin and Max Strus, they're not going to win you a series from that.
No, you're right. Well, with that in mind, I know obviously we've agreed that Bucks going to win this one. Then who do you think will be the X factor for the Heat now that Hero is out?
The X factor for the Heat for me is probably Kyle Lowry. I mean, you can say a lot of players are Bam. Bam. I was gonna say Bam, but now I'm looking at it. I was like, Kyle Lowry, is he gonna be able to step up and kind of give you close to what he was producing the last 2 seasons?
Yeah, he's had a shocker this season, but he saved his best game for the play-in, and I mean,
he
is a champion after all, right? Yeah, he is a champion after all. For me, the X factor, honestly, man, I don't know. I mean, Bam's a very obvious choice. I don't really want to go with him. I'm gonna say Victor Oladipo. Assuming he even gets playing time, if I was Eric Spoelstra, I would start Victor Oladipo because the way I see it is Giannis is going to get his numbers regardless. Bam is as good of a player you can put on Giannis, but you want to focus on shutting down the other guys as well, right? And Victor Oladipo, even with all the injuries he's been through these past few seasons, he is still a fucking lockdown defender, man. Especially when it comes to point of attack defending, he's still really good. We saw what he did to Jason Tatum and especially Jaylen Brown last year in the playoffs. He caused all those turnovers. And I think, if he can step in there 20-25 minutes a night, give Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton a bit of trouble. Maybe hit the occasional 3. He'll give them some positive minutes. I don't know why I wasn't getting playing time, to begin with. So I think there is potential there, assuming Spoelstra starts him. If your offense isn't going to be very great regardless, you might as well try, put a bit more effort on the defensive end. That's just how I see it.
They might not do that for game 2, but maybe later on this series, they're definitely
get desperate.
Do you see Kevin Love getting more minutes?
He played 23
he played 23 minutes.
23 minutes,
He gave him
4 threes.
18 points, 8 rebounds, and the way he played, I mean, he's taking charges. He's one of the best.
He's a big body that you can like, just put out there, right? And like, I mean, offensively, at least he can pull out, Lopez or Giannis away from the rim, as opposed to a Cody Zeller, for example.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, can he actually handle big minutes? Because, I mean, he's quite old, and I think he hasn't really had consistent high minutes above 30s for ages.
I mean, to be fair, like to his credit, he started the season pretty well with the Cavs, and then I think he injured his wrist or his thumb or something like that. And then ever since that injury happened, he's been in a shooting slump.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, he hit 4 threes last game. So, I mean, look, they didn't really have many alternatives. So, like, Kevin Love on this roster is probably one of your better offensive plays. Yeah. I think that 20 to 25 minutes like a night is a bit of a sweet spot. Like, you'll probably mainly play him as like a backup 5 and Bam sitting, and then maybe at times you'll stagger their minutes a bit as well. But as in, play them together as well. But I mean, the grass isn't always green on the other side. Look at the rest of the alternatives. Udonis Haslem, Haywood Highsmith, Cody Zeller, Omar Yurtseven,
Yeah, none of these guys are sort of proven. And
Haslam, bro, he's one of your chips, alright.
Bring Haslam back.
He had a mean dunk, bro. So I don't think Kevin Love can do that at this age, man.
Well, okay, so obviously we agreed. I say, he can steal one more game. Bucks in 6, and
I got Bucks in 6 as well. Yeah,
Bucks in 5, man. But I'm hoping for
more.
I'm hoping for the Heat in 6, bro. Heat in 5, and Heat in 4 even. It's still possible. Yeah. So, but as long as they push the Bucks to the limit, hey, I'm happy.
Awesome. Well, tell us what you think on the comments below.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you in the next episode of Video Game Numbers.
Peace.